Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Cat Lady. This was sent to me by AEG and is designed by Josh Wood. Players are cat ladies, part of an elite group of people including Marie Antoinette and Ernest Hemingway. During the game, you and your fellow cat ladies will draft cards 3 at a time, collecting toys, food, catnip, costumes, and of course, lovable cats. But watch out! Make sure you have enough food for all of your feline friends, or your hungry cats will subtract points from your score. The player with the highest total victory points wins the game. Let me show you how to play. So in Cat Lady, you're trying to get victory points. Here we have the 9 cards you're going to draft from, as well as some stray cats over here. So on your turn, you must take an entire row or column of 3 cards from the grid. You cannot take a diagonal row. However, you cannot take the row or column that the cat token is next to. So as you can see, there's a cat token up here. I mean, you can't take this column. All the different card types have different effects. So let's say we pick this bottom row here. You would pick up those 3 cards, and then you move the cat there. Then you refill the cards you took. If you have cards like the spray bottle in your hand, you can use them at any time to move the cat token. There's also the lost cat card, where if you discard 2 of these, you can gain 2 victory points or 1 of the stray cats. Now that's it. That's a turn. All you do is pick 3 cards in a row or column and move the cat. Now the game ends when you need to refill, but there are no cards left in the deck. But before we get into any of the scoring details at the end, let's get into the card types, because that's obviously, the meat of the game. When you take a cat, like Pablo Picasso here, this guy, at the bottom, you can see that he wants 3 fish. So when you take a cat card, you place it in front of you. At the end of the game, you need to fully feed this guy to get the 6 points on the card. So you need 3 tuna. If you don't feed him, you lose 2 victory points for every cat you didn't feed. So looking back up here, if we wanted to start feeding Pablo, we could grab this column here. And that would let me put 2 tuna cubes on Pablo. And that's how you keep track of how much food they've had. There are also chicken and milk. There are also ×2 cards that are worth double. And also you have the wild cards, which can be any type of food. Now, there's a note. Whoever has the most leftover food after feeding their cats loses 2 victory points, because you don't want to be wasteful. So there is a punishment for taking too much food. Costume cards are cards you can pick up that if you have the most of these, you get 6 victory points at the end of the game. If you don't have at least 1 of them, you lose 2 points at the end of the game. Catnip cards, if you pick these up, if you only have 1 catnip, you lose 2 victory points. But if you have 2 to 3, you get 1 victory point for each of your fully fed cats. And if you have 4 more catnip, you gain 2 points for each of your fully fed cats. That's a nice point multiplier. Toys. You get victory points based on the number of different toys you have. So if I have 5 different toys, I would score 12 points. 4 different toys would be 8, and so on. So lost cat cards, you can discard 2 of them to get a stray cat. So if we look at these stray cats here, these ones are special. These have different little perks. Like Penny here, she's worth 1 point for each toy you have. You feed her 1 milk, and that's her point value at the end. Waffle, feed Waffle 1, 2, 3, or 4 food of 1 type. He's worth 3 points for each food you feed him. Moonbeam, you may use any 2 food as wilds. That's pretty nice. There are only 3 of these available in a game, so every time it's going to be different. But yeah, each of them offers either a nice point value or a perk of some kind. Otherwise, that's it. You take turns just drafting 3, moving the thing to block columns or rows, and that's it. That's pretty much the game. So this is a solid little filler game. I appreciate filler games that are simple, they don't mess around, and yet they're very clear on their scoring. All you gotta do, grab 3 cards, keep track of the scoring mechanisms, and because that cat blocks the row or column, it's fun trying to make sure your opponents don't grab what they need. What I think makes this game work is that the scoring mechanisms are varied, but they're all fun. You feed cats, but you can't just collect, food willy-nilly, because you'll get punished for wasting food. There's set collecting, there's getting the most costumes. It's got enough little brain itchers to keep track of that. You're always trying to maximize your drafting. But like I said, the cards are very clear on them what they do and how they score. So you always know how it works. This may sound like something you should take for granted, but so many filler games either have rules that are too fiddly or not enough substance to warrant their existence. But this game is the perfect balance. And the art is cute. You know, I like the theme. I think the art is cute. If you like the theme and you want just like a solid little drafting filler game, I think this one's pretty solid. It doesn't pretend to be anything more than it is, but it still offers a solid game that is engaging, it's fun with throughout, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and you can learn it in minutes. Like, extremely simple to teach, which I also appreciate. So, I like it. It's good.